You ever wonder what really goes on inside the mind of a drug lord? Not the money, not the fame. I'm talking about the mind, the fear, the control, the voices that don't stop when the gunfire does. Every move they make looks powerful from the outside, but inside it's chaos. This is what it's like inside the brain of a drug lord. It always starts small, a deal here, a promise there, a man who just wants a better life. He grows up watching people struggle, watching good men break and bad men win. So he decides he'll never be the one begging. At first, it's just survival. A few grams, a few dollars. He's quiet, careful, invisible. Because power doesn't scream, it whispers. But every dollar he makes changes something inside him. He stops fearing the police. He starts to enjoy the risk. That rush, it's like a drug itself. And soon, he realizes something dangerous. People listen when you have money. People obey when you have fear. He begins to look at the world differently. Not as right or wrong, just strong or weak. In his mind, rules are for those who can't make their own. He doesn't see victims, he sees players who lost. And in his world, losing means you didn't want it bad enough. Every crime story starts with a choice. But for him, it didn't feel like a choice. It felt like destiny. He wasn't chasing money anymore. He was chasing control. And once you taste control, you can never stop wanting more. Power changes the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way people look at you. One day he's counting coins. The next, men with guns call him boss. He doesn't ask for respect anymore. He takes it. At first, his empire looks small. A few streets, a few loyal faces. But fear spreads faster than fire. People start whispering his name like it's a warning. He learns that violence isn't chaos, it's order. A dead body sends a louder message than 1,000 words, so he uses fear the way others use love. And it works. The police stay away, the locals keep quiet, even his enemies start shaking hands with him, just to stay alive. But inside, something's shifting. He doesn't just control the streets anymore, he controls people, and that power feels better than any drug he's ever sold. He starts to believe he's untouchable, above law, above death. In his mind, he's not a criminal, he's a king. But kings don't rule forever, and the same fear that built his empire is the same fear that will soon destroy it. Somewhere along the line, he stops being a man. At least that's how he sees it. He's not just running a business anymore, he's running a kingdom. Every order he gives changes lives. Every word can make someone rich or end them. He doesn't think of himself as cruel. In his mind, he's fair. He rewards loyalty, he punishes betrayal. That's justice, his kind of justice. But slowly something strange happens. He starts believing the world needs him, that without him, everything would fall apart. He begins to act like a god. He talks like one. He moves like one. He even starts to believe death can't touch him. His men bow when he enters. His enemies beg before they die. And for the first time in his life, he feels infinite. But power has a cost. You don't notice it at first. It hides in the silence, in the nights when you can't sleep, in the faces of the people you've buried. He starts hearing voices, not from ghosts, but from the parts of himself he's tried to kill. The boy who once just wanted to survive now watches the monster he became. He tells himself he's in control, but deep down he knows. He's not leading anymore. He's falling. It starts with a whisper. Someone might be talking, someone might be watching, someone might be planning something. He doesn't know who. He just knows someone is. That's how paranoia works. It doesn't show up all at once. It drips, slow and steady, until it's all you can hear. He stops sleeping. He stops trusting. Even his most loyal men now look like threats. Every knock on the door feels like betrayal. Every smile hides a knife. And when you've built your kingdom on fear, you start to see fear everywhere. He starts testing people, sending fake orders, fake rumors, watching who talks, who hesitates. Sometimes he's right. Sometimes he kills the wrong one. Either way, it doesn't matter. The message is clear. No one is safe. He installs cameras, buys silence, builds walls higher and higher, but the more he hides, the smaller his world becomes. He used to rule cities. Now, he rules a cage made of his own mind. That's the thing about power. It never really protects you. It just gives you more to lose, and soon he'll lose it all. It doesn't end with a gunfight, not really, it ends with silence. By the time the police come, half his men are already gone. Some ran, some turned, some were buried before they could choose. He sits in his mansion, the same one he built to feel safe, and realizes it's just another prison. The walls, the guards, the money, none of it means anything now. He tries to count his friends. There are none left, just faces in photos and ghosts in his head. The empire that once ran on fear has now turned on him. The dealers talk, the money vanishes, the police close in, and for the first time in years, he feels powerless. When they finally break down the door, he doesn't fight. He just sits there, calm, quiet, like he's been waiting for it. Because deep down, he always knew it would end this way. Power built on blood doesn't last, and no matter how high you rise, you always end up buried the same way as everyone else. In the end, every king meets his own crown of bullets. He had money, fear, respect, everything he thought mattered. But none of it could save him from himself. Power made him feel untouchable, but all it really did was make him alone. That's how it always ends, not with glory but with silence, because no matter how big the empire, you can't rule the world when you've already lost your mind.